That should be good. Okay, how are we?
That's good.
Are y'all sure? Y'all hesitated.
We're tired.
You're realtors. Deal with it. It's fine. Thank y'all for being here this morning. I'm sure we'll have a few more hop on Zoom in just a minute and some, coming up the stairs shortly. But thank y'all for being here. We've got Terminix. They provided breakfast this morning, so thank you. And I'm going to make sure that I get everybody's name right. Hopefully, let's see here. Jason Silva, Jason Whitehead, and Michael Boney. Right here, Michael. Okay. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and have it. They're going to explain to y'all what they offer as a pest control company, termite, whatever. Y'all have at it. If you want to stand over here, sorry to make you move, just so that way everybody on Zoom can kind of see you and ask questions if they need to. Okay. Please.
Now where I stand at?
Right over here.
Right over here.
If you don't mind. Jason Whitehead. This is my cousin.
No.
Easy. That was way too quick.
We might be. I'm Jason Whitehead with Terminix. I've been in the business for quite a few years, and pretty much today I want to introduce myself and let y'all know what we do. If y'all got any questions or whatever, I'm pretty much sure y'all know what we do. Y'all deal with the reps and all that all the time, doing your home inspections. But we're just trying to earn your business, and if y'all need anything, just ask away. We do more than termite inspections, termite letters. We also do crawl space encapsulations, attic insulation, gutter guards, everything else, which is out of probably the scope of service that y'all are wanting to look for. But pretty much just if y'all need anything, got any questions, whatever. Got anything, Jason? You go. Keep going.
So how much does
$80 for a termite
okay.
letter. Termite letter is $80. We compete with everybody else at $80. We stay affordable. Not gonna go up on your price or anything. Same day service, try to, if you need us. I know a lot of times it's urgent. I forgot to get this one done. Call me. We'll try to jump right on it. You know what I mean? Y'all will be my first priority. Always take care of y'all hands on. Pretty much just trying to. I'm nervous as crap up here. I'm hot. I'm sweating. Back in my head sweating.
I'm Jason Silva. I'm the sales manager. Those can become Terminix branch. Jason's on my team. When people think of Terminix, they obviously think about pest control with termite. They don't really think about all the other services, some of the services Jason offered. Now, what y'all would most likely be interested in is WRs, inspections and such for your clothing. Now, I know a lot of times we're called in to do those, and the homeowner or the incoming homeowner wants, if they don't see a vapor barrier there, or they don't have anything in the crawl space, it's just a nasty crawl space, something's got to be done, or they could walk away from it. So in Southeast Alabama, in our area, every crawl space house minimum needs to have a vapor. I mean, if it does not, with the humidity and the moisture we have here, you're setting yourself up at some point in time for further problems. So that's something that we can get on pretty quick, especially if it's involving the closing. That's unique about us. We've got enough installers in our office that if it's, if the closing's in Friday, and we do an inspection, and okay, there's a little bit of fungus there's some moisture issues, and it needs a vapor barrier to make your closing go through. That's something we do have the ability to jump on and get pretty quick, as long as it's a simple install. Now, if it's something about an encapsulation, usually that's not going to be something that y'all are going to want to do. But we have had situations where the homeowner comes in and they know what an encapsulation is. They know what an ATMOS system is, which is a fan system that circulates the air, keeps fungus from growing under the house. They know about those. They come in and sit at the table and says, I'm not buying this house until this is taken care of. Now, those services are not something that we can do same day or next day. We can get it started, but those are usually 2-day installs, depending on the size of the house. Now, if it's a 1,500 square foot house, that's possibly something that we could, knock out. So basically what Jason wanted to do today was just reach out and make sure that y'all knew that Terminix did more than just pest control and termite control. Termite bonds are another huge thing I know in closings. Some people won't even look at a house in this area if there's not a bond. Our bonds are transferable. So let's say you own a house and you're moving, you're selling the house, you have a termite bond with Terminix, okay? Mr. Shoup over there is buying the house. It's as simple as us going and seeing him. He pays $125 transfer fee. His name is now on the bond of that house, and it never lost coverage for Terminix. So the bond is good. Now, our bonds are different from others. We do have a full protection bond, okay? With the protection bond, if there are termites in that house, if it is new damage from termites, we come in, we have a contract to rip it all out, replace everything at no cost to the bond holder. So it's 100% coverage. Now, to some people, that may not seem like a lot. The question I get a lot, and I had to educate my parents on this. A lot of people with slab houses don't think they have termite problem or could get a termite problem. As a company, we get more claims every year on slab houses than we do crawl space houses. The reason being is inspections on a crawl space house allow us to see the entry points for the termites. We're going to see the mud tube. We're going to see the damage. With a slab house, we can't see that. So we're only being able to see about 20% of the house because we can only do an outside inspection, walk around, or we can only do about 20% on the inside. Termites need about a pinhead size opening to get into a house. So on a slab house, by the time you figure out you've got termites, a wall fell down, a picture fell off the wall, sheetrocks come down, termites eat sheetrock. I mean, they'll come through and give a wavy look. So we do have more claims. A lot of times they're coming in an expansion joint or coming in around a pipe or a bathtub or a shower. So, but those are a lot of the things we, and with a bond too, you get a yearly inspection. So you got an inspector that's coming out and he's inspecting every year to make sure we don't have any activity. So, but I think the biggest thing today is we are competitive in the market. Now, we were recently acquired by the largest pest control company in the world. So now we are the largest pest control company in the world, not just the country. We were bought out by Rent to Kill. They're in the process of changing everything. We will remain Terminix, but that just gave us a larger scope than what we had previously. So with our services, we're not always going to be the cheapest on the services, but we are the best. So we're not, when we're competing with other companies, we may get cut, but the service we give, you can compare our termite bonds to other companies. You read the fine print, ours is totally different. I mean, it's 100%. A lot of other companies, they come in, they don't tell you this up front. 5 years, you got a 5-year coverage. In 5 years, you're having to repay for them to retreat the area using a liquid treatment or whatever their method is. With us, once we put the bait there and the bonds there and you're paying a yearly thing, you're covered from now on. So we don't hit you in 5 years or 10 years for another charge. So that's where we differ. But again, I'll be upfront and tell you, we are not the cheapest. We are competitive, but and we can work to help you. But regarding the WRs, Jason does a lot of them all over. So I think he wants to start getting some more here in Dothan and area enterprise, those areas. So
and I will continue to get my price where I need to be to people who y'all are used to using or whatever, just to make everything good for the buyer and the seller, and y'all to keep getting your business. So I'm not gonna be the highest every time, but I can't be the cheapest either sometimes, just depending on the situation. So, everything's tit for tat, y'all know how it is, but we make it work for you.
but it is something, when there's a pressing issue, like I said in the beginning, we can adjust to try to get y'all taken care of, to get that closing done and get that letter to you pretty quick. Michael Boney's been with the company 20 years, 22 years. He brags about that every day. So, but he's on the termite side. So you want to kind of explain a little bit about some of the other stuff, and then if y'all have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them for you.
All right, so like you said, my name is Mike Boney. I have August to be 22 years. I think
He had to correct that. He had to get that right.
yeah, it's a lot of that time was spent doing the wood infestation report for realtors. I had a ton of realtors, still do every time I come back, because I've left a couple of times at different branches. I come back and I let the realtor know I'm back, so you can call me. I'm not doing the inspection anymore, but I have people that I can get on the ball, and I know what the realtors expect. One of the things that they didn't mention is 24 to 48 hour response time. When you ask, we're going to get it done within 48 hours. If not, I mean, we're gonna do it as soon as possible. A lot of
I
times
can't
they
get it,
have
that's
time
all.
to do that, you know, and also getting the paperwork the way it needs to be within 48 hours. So, and I know a lot of them now are doing electronically, sending emails to you, you know, everybody, the real estate company, or not the real estate, but the bank, the attorney's office, everything. All the paperwork and everything, we're way advanced over a lot of the other companies, because almost everything we do is electronic. 95% of everything that would be involved in a wood infestation report is electronic. So any treatments, anything like that, it can be sent to whoever, because it's all done through an iPad. The only manual paperwork is the actual report itself, because it's a state document, so they don't put it all in our system. So as far as coverage, you know, the big thing is after, you know, y'all are trying to sell a house. That's it. You want to sell the house, but of course that customer is that's your customer. They're going to look to you in the future. So, you know, getting in the wrong situation and in a situation where the customer is now upset because the company that they had didn't follow through or give the warranty or whatever that they thought they could get, you know, we're going to give the best warranty there is in the business. I mean, I've had opportunities to leave and go to other companies many times, but I've seen all of their agreements. I've seen all of their warranties. I don't like them. I wouldn't have anybody but Terminix. And it's not because of price, because I don't get a discount for, most people pay less than I do on my termite protection. But, you know, with me being on the termite side, I do, you know, all my guys are the ones that go out every year and do the inspections. So, and making sure that that's done in a timely manner, making sure that they know what they're doing, you know, to always be upfront with the customer. It's not just about the termite inspection that they're doing. They're looking at the broad picture. Anything that can possibly be going on with that house, they're going to let the customer know. So, you know, after the sale of the house, the Terminix is going to take care of that customer for the life. You know, there's, like he said, there's no 5-year plan, there's no 10-year plan. As long as they pay that renewal, they're covered 100%. And that covers not just the structure, but literally these TVs. Everybody's got them on the wall now. There might eat that. They shut the studs behind it. It falls off the wall. We're paying for that TV. So more than likely, you're going to get a bigger bill. You know, because the prices have gone down quite a bit. So, you know, but we cover everything. You know, even stuff that's in garages. We've replaced entire storage units full of vinyl records that were just stored away. They wouldn't be used. Customer probably forgot they had them. But when they found them, they're like, oh, those could be worth some money. And probably are. We're going to replace those. Or if we can't replace it, like antique furniture or something, we're going to give you the value of whatever an antiquities person says, hey, that thing's worth $10,000. We're going to cut you a check for $10,000. So, but like I said, you know, the big thing is the response time, getting it done, getting y'all taken care of, so you don't have to be hunting people down or anything like that. When the phone rings, they're answering, they're getting everything you need in the time of that. So, but does anybody have any questions or anything?
One thing I forgot too, if there is a service that a house that y'all are working on needs, and we need to hold off on the payment, if it's something the customer wants, if it's, or the new homeowner wants, or the old homeowner wants to do for the new homeowner, we can push that billing off till close. So, you know, so they can have time to do that at a later date. I meant to say that earlier. We do that quite a bit. A lot of times it's so it can go into the new homeowner's name and not have to do a transfer and that kind of thing. So we can push that off.
And it's anything that's involved in a wood infestation report, whether it's termites, any moisture issues or anything like that, we're a one-stop shop. We can cover anything. So it's not gonna be like, well, you're gonna have to call somebody else to do that. We don't do that part. You know, or we can do this, but we can't do that part of that. You know, we do every bit of it. And then actually have, you know, like the AtMox system that he had brought up, we've actually, because moisture was so bad in a crawl space, that was the only way to stop it. That can be done through a closing. It just takes a little longer to get the install because you got to order parts and stuff like that for the system. But like you said, every bit of that can be built through the closing. So a lot of times, you know, the people just ain't got the money. You know, if I was selling my house right now, I don't have X amount of dollars just to drop, you know, but when they sell that house, they probably got a little bit that they can invest into that through closing and not have to worry about cutting checks to the attorney. So makes it so much easier that way.
Got any questions or anybody anything?
I don't have any questions, but
I had, and no offense to Terminix, I had actually stopped using Terminix for my WRs. But now that Jason is back, like I've called him and like I call him at 3 o'clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, their move closing up and such and such. I didn't get a termite inspection done. He's just like, give me the address, send me the info. I texted him real quick. He was there in like 2 hours, saved my butt. I've had a situation where, I had a client who, she's, sometimes you get those clients that don't have the extra, but like he worked with her and he made it work, he got it done. And it's just like every single time I call, like he was like clockwork. I even was, he came and did an inspection over there at Butler Court. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this darn stuff out. He actually went home and got his blower for me to use the blower to blow out the darn thing. Like, and like to me, like that's important. If you're helping me get my job done, then of course, I mean, we all are here to make $1. So we don't, one thing about real estate, you don't have to blow nothing up, but we understand. So that type of service is important. Because I've called some other folks and they say, oh, we can get to it maybe Monday or whatever the case may be, but he's always joining on the spot. So I would highly recommend Jason Whitehead. He talks the talk. He made me nervous and his head was sweating. He talks the talk and he walks the walk. He shows up, he's there. And I mean, a lender asked for it on a report. I promise you, he had just left 5 minutes. He hadn't even gone 5 minutes. He's just like, well, I'll run back to the office right now. I mean, 20 minutes later, it was there. So that's my little
Thank you,
about Terminix.
He's a whitehead.
Get it done.
There's a lot of examples just like that. In the past, I've had some, I can't remember what the address was, but there was somebody coming to view the house. The realtor was freaking out because there was 3 bats hanging under the front porch. Not a good thing for somebody that's looking to buy this house. So, of course, we do wildlife and what we call exclusion services. We can do bat removal. I know Dothan has got super bad in guard district with that. You can walk around houses and hear them chirping all day long. They're everywhere. We can do that too.
Squirrels also.
Yeah, I literally went and got the bats off of that front porch just for the showing, and I didn't charge anything because I knew in the end that realtor was going to call and deal with me. So anything that happened was, it doesn't matter to me. If the house was in perfect shape and there was nothing else wrong with it, $80, that's fine. And one of the other specials we will do is if the $80 for the wood infestation report, if any work has to be done after the fact, whether it's a termite treatment, any kind of moisture remediation, anything like that, we will waive that amount off. So basically you'll just be paying for any of the actual products and treatments itself. So we will waive that off. So, but it's, and that's one of the big things. I mean, I think I've done the bat removal, I've changed some light bulbs, did a few things here and there, and that's what we look at. And that's like, with people like Jason's going to take care of him. So, but, and we did have a time period like you were talking about that you're like, hey, I'm going with something. I'm just not. There was a time.
I said, where's Charlie? I'm like, where's Charlie?
Yeah, so he will, they'll definitely stay on top of it.
Oh,
And that's a big thing. I was a sales manager in Dothan for a little while as well. And that was one of the things I pushed on the guys. I was like, look, if they call you, you need to get it done. And you're not done until that paperwork is done and it's been delivered to everybody they're asking to send it to. Well, they want me to send it to 3 different people. I don't care. That's what we got email for. Send it, and we can deliver it to the attorney's office, whatever y'all want, however y'all want to do it. So that's all I got.
I have a question. So when will you not give us a termite bond when you're like, no, we can do it on this property?
It's too low to crawl.
Yeah.
Crawl space is too low and we can't get under there.
Yeah.
If I can't fit under I'm a big boy, we have small guys work with us. I'll call one of them. If they can't get under it, then.
Yeah, I got a place right now. We cannot get under and it's like this high. And I think we have issues with moisture and stuff like that. But if I cannot get a bond, then I'll probably do anything, any kind of inspection. I don't know if you have cameras to look under the crawl space when you get sit under.
In that situation, we can still service it and put it under a service plan where we put our bait stations out to draw the termites away from the house. It wouldn't be a protection bond, but it would have a termite bond with a service plan. So in other words, if you have a swarm, they swarm out of the house or something, we come out there, we treat it. But you still get the inspection every year. And we still monitor, our bait stations are actually coded. So, and we do have a gentleman that goes around once a year. He actually has to physically scan every one of those bait stations that are around your house with his computer. But just because we can inspect it doesn't mean we can't give you termite protection. It just may dictate it's got to be a service plan versus a protection.
That's just like on the wood infestation report. We cannot get to a particular section of the crawl space, or we can't get a crawl space at all. We can put it on the documentation that it's an inaccessible crawl space. And then we just make sure that they understand we couldn't properly do a full inspection. So that way it's covering everybody in the future. If somebody's like, well, I got termites. Well, it says on paperwork, we could literally get in the crawl space. But our general rule for termite, being able to do inspections and do, plans is a minimum of 14 inches high off the ground. Like bottom of the floor joist to the ground has to be 14 inches.
Yeah.
So
We got some guys that can go in there.
I know.
I'm not one of them, but we got some.
Anything else?
Houses that flood also, we do sump pumps and everything else too. So houses that have moisture underneath them, we install sump pumps and keep the water out and all that. So if you ever have any dumb problems too, we can also, like you said, we're pretty much a one-stop shop for all that. Anybody got any questions? No? Okay.
Good.
All right. Well, I'm Jason Whitehead. If y'all need anything, I'd be glad to do your business. And I'll jump right on it. No, I was like Durham. So,
Shall I leave some cards up?
I do. I put
Okay.
cards and then I got some on the desk there.
and there's
Wonderful.
actually,
Thank y'all
You're welcome.
so much.
Thank
It
you.
was nice to meet
You too.
you.
I think all those brochures are for the wildlife exclusion. So we'll just leave those here. Look at those and, and also on Terminix.com, everything we do. is on there.
I'm telling you, I know you.
Thank you.
And this is the amber. She keeps us all straight. So
Thank you, Amber.
thank y'all for the time.
Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Have a good one.
Y'all too.
You like the koozie?
I want that green ball, yeah.
We even got cups that change colors. Anybody like the bottle?
Yes, I love green.
Great morning.
Green's always been my favorite.
Thank you.
Like the koozie also?
Is that what you said? I don't want to say that if it's not true.
You want to order one?
Yes, I do.
Somebody tell their kid that it changes color, don't. Oh, thank you so much. I'm sitting here. Thank you.
You want to order one?
Thanks for having us. Absolutely. Thank y'all for coming.
We also got some good pens too. Have the silence on. Would y'all like one of these?
Yes, I love a good pen.
You don't ever have to get fancy.
I made sure we didn't order cheap ones that fall apart when you do. Huh? You got one right now.
Brandon, where's your stuff at? Where's your cup?
Sure, thank you.
Don't hate me, I love
This is all I got.
No cups.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye. We'll leave a few
Did I
over
get
here.
this right?
What?
All right, thank y'all.
That's who he is.
Right, but he's
That's not who's
running
running
for chairman.
Right.
Right, okay.
You ready?
Yes,
Okay.
please welcome Brandon Shue. Good morning.
Morning.
Again.
Glad to be here. Glad to see such a good staff, diverse staff too, which is always nice. So anyway, glad to visit y'all. So
My name is Brandon Shoup. I am the current county commissioner for District 4. Future county commissioner for District 4 is likely sitting in the crowd. But I am the current one, at least until November. And I'm hoping to be the next chairman of the Houston County Commission. So I've served for 8 years. In the 8 years that I've served, there's been 15 town halls that commissioners have held, and I've held 14 of them. So I try to do a very good job of, communicating with my constituents and let people know what's going on. Never tried to be a county spokesperson. That's kind of the job of the chairman. And if you have a commissioner that's trying to speak for the county, you create a lot more problems than you solve. So
Give us an example of that.
well,
Since you're talking to them.
if there is you're going to sell a building and you think it would be nice for the people to know that, but that's not the plan. If you were to get out there and get in front of that, you may inform people, but you undermine your relationships on the commission. Those relationships obviously are very important to you if you have things that you want to get done to. So just
So the farm center.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. So anyway, but I absolutely love what I do. I'll be honest with you, when I ran 8 years ago and won, I never thought I'd want to be the chairman. It was something I never thought that I would want to be, but I really enjoy county government. It's a great way. I mean, it's as ground level as you get in politics and in public service. Can't solve all the problems, but sometimes people call you and they have a problem you can solve it for them, and that is the most rewarding thing for me. But the current chairman and does a great job. We're good friends. He's been on the commission since I was in kindergarten. I just turned 42. He's been the chairman since I was in 11th grade. So he's been in office for a while. And so I think that presents us a tremendous opportunity to really take a good look at everything and start to do a lot of things a little bit different. And it's just my opinion. There's a lot of things that we need to do a little bit different from a communication standpoint, from an economic development standpoint, from a lot of different standpoints. So people have always asked, like, what are you going to do when you win or if you win? And so I'll give you the highlights. One of the things I want to do, especially from a communication standpoint, is I want to have one meeting every month at night at 6 p.m. And I'm thinking it would be like the first Thursday of the month. Every first Thursday, we have a meeting at 6 p.m. I think that would be a great way to allow people that work during the day or people that live in Cottonwood and Coward, so they don't have to take off an entire morning to drive to the commission meeting, sit there for an hour, and then drive all the way back. So that's step one. Another thing I want to do is get prisoners back on litter patrol. It's really a shame when you drive down some of our county roads or even some of our state highways, you come into the county, you just see trash, beside the road. And so when we're bringing in people to try to get them to invest in our county, what message are we sending them when they drive into Houston County? The first thing they notice is the amount of trash beside the road. So when we get prisoners back on litter patrol, I've got a plan that's going to do that. Trying to think of what else. I'll tell you one big thing that we've got to change is our mindset when it comes to economic development. Historically, and it still works this way for the most part, but historically, the game is played. Got a big company is looking to go. They're looking to go somewhere. Well, we're going to provide these incentives, these tax breaks. We're going to build this road for you. We're going to build this building. We're going to give this building to you for free, assuming you employ this many people and make this large an investment in the county. So that's the way that the game is played. So it's a very expensive game. In today's world, where there's a lot of people like my wife that are remote workers. She works for a company out of Tennessee, works for a company out of Illinois. So she can live anywhere she wants to. But obviously she lives in Houston County because she's married to me. But so in that world where you can live wherever you want to and work for whoever you want to. A few years ago, I worked for about a year for a company out of San Francisco. I never visited the office. I always worked right here in Houston County. But in that type of world, how do you recruit remote workers? Well, you do that by having a safe county. If you don't feel safe, a lot of the other stuff doesn't matter. So the best example I have that I can give you is Ukraine. Like, how many of those young people are really thinking about going to university and, what they're going to do when they're 40? No, they don't feel safe. They're fighting for their right to exist. And so you have to have a safe environment. So that's going to require smart investments in law enforcement. But beyond that, you want to live in a community that has great school systems. You want to live in a community that has a lot of amenities. And I think that's where there's some work to do. And so I've got a plan that's going to provide 30% of our internet sales tax, which is in 2016, I think we got a check for internet sales tax, which was about $14,000. People, and we went through all this effort to get this sales tax bill passed. Right now, because back then you were always supposed to be paying sales tax on your internet purchases, but nobody did. So the ACCA, which is the County Commission Association, got the state said, why don't we make it optional so that these companies like Amazon will optionally, they can sign up, they can start collecting the sales tax or remitting it to the state. They don't have to remit it to City of Dothan and Houston County and this police jurisdiction and the state of Alabama. They just submit it to the state and state divides it. And so we did that. Amazon signed up. They were one of the first. We got a check that year, $14,000. And the person that sponsored the bill in the State House, like, I mean, are y'all crazy? Y'all said this was going to really generate some money. It's not generating money. And the ACCA told them, just be patient. It's going to work. And so Walmart came on, and Etsy came on. A lot of all these other platforms come on. So last year, we got a check for $2.2 million. And that is going to continue to grow. Obviously, not at the exponential rate that's been growing, but it's going to continue to grow. My plan is I want us to take 30% of that and provide that to the public school system. Because sales tax, the school system gets 70% of it. The SSUT, the internet sales tax, school system gets 0% of that. So I'm going to take 30% of our SSUT, give that to public schools, earmark it for infrastructure. I don't know if you've been to some of our county schools. Rehoboth has a great county school and great infrastructure because it is built up so fast. They've had to build everything is new out there. You go to older schools that haven't grown quite as fast, like Wicksburg, which is the #1 school in the district. Cottonwood, which is actually very similar to Wicksburg in a lot of respects. That's right. So you go to those in Ashford and Columbia, that's a different story. But you go to those places, you see a lot of scary looking buildings like that gym in Wicksburg. I mean, that you go into the locker room, it looks like it's not appropriate to house kids. It's appropriate for filming an episode of The Walking Dead. I always tell you. So that thing needs to go. It needs a new building, and I think some of this SSCT money will help them do that. So now we've got not only great teachers, great administrators in the county, but we also have great facilities. So that's the plan for that. And the other thing I want to invest in is in culture and parks and recreation. That's something that the county has never led in, but I think the most successful communities in the 21st century are going to be those that invest in their sense of place. They have amenities, they have things for old and for young people to do, like biking trails, walking trails, that sort of thing. So, we're never going to be New York City, and I don't think anybody wants that, but that doesn't mean we can be a better version of ourselves. So those are just a few of the things that I want to do. I could stand up here and talk for hours, but I know y'all don't have patience, and I probably at this point don't have the energy. We got 1 week to go. 1 week, polls will be open 7 days from today, actually. They open at 7 a.m., close at 7 p.m. I greatly appreciate your vote. I absolutely love what I do. I think I'm pretty good at it, but that's for y'all to decide. But I love you vote because I want to serve you and I want to push you some county forms. So,
What do you see as the biggest challenge? Your biggest challenge being chairman?
That's no one has asked me that question before. But I think just from a standpoint of, I remember when I ran 8 years ago, when you run, I've got all the answers. I know what I'm getting myself into. I know what I'm going to do. And you get in there and you figure, you're going to experience this. So you get in there and you figure out, I don't know what's going on. Am I supposed to yay this? Am I supposed to nay this? What are y'all talking about? That takes a little bit of time to figure out. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing as chairman. And I don't, whether I win or whoever wins, we all project like, oh yeah, we got this. And I think I know we're going to find, we're not going to fall off the rails, but there is going to be a learning curve. for whoever steps in that office. So that learning curve, I think, is probably going to be the most difficult. But the other stuff, I mean, I think the community is ready to go in a different direction. I think the community is ready to clean up the streets. I think the community is ready to invest in itself in terms of amenities, parks, and recreation, culture, and arts. So I think there's going to be a big community support for that. It's not going to be uniform, but I think there's going to be a lot of community support for that. So I don't think the community support is going to be an issue, but certainly, you know, when you lose a chairman that's been in office for, I don't know, 30-something years, you know, there's going to be some figuring out. Probably, but, you know, my plan is, if I do win, which I think I will, but we'll see.
Don't know till that day, do we?
Don't know. until-
May 24th, right? May 24th.
May 24th. I'm going to be the chairman quite a bit, figure out kind of where a lot of these projects are. And then go meet with economic developers in Montgomery, start making those relationships, and just be ready to go on day one. And hopefully our first meeting will be at night. That way family and friends can come and not miss work. So, and what you need, and whoever else gets sworn in and then cussed out. Any other questions?
Are you voting for Benita?
You can ask
I will say this, I have two, Benita knows who I'm voting for. I'll just leave it there. But both the people are running, I think, very talented.
Good answer.
Well, if you have a pen, I want you to write down the phone number on that card that I gave you. So this is my personal number, 334.
Oh, hang on, slow down.
Is your county phone?
No, that's my personal phone. I'm gonna retire my county phone.
Are you really?
Yeah, I got tired of keeping up two phones. So most people now call me
You know
the
where
personal, so.
phone.
So 334-791-8340.
We need to talk about that, because I thought you thought it was a good idea.
Well, I thought it was, then I got tired of keeping up. All right, well, I've enjoyed visiting with y'all.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah, hopefully I got a chance to-
Yeah,
Good
I'm
luck.
here, member to the maintenance foreman with Houston County Schools, so
Do that, yeah, do that.
that's kind of it. So he knows all about the condition of the schools across.
I'm
the
sure he
county.
does. Yeah, I met with Dom at Wicksburg one time. We looked at a lot of things. You know, people think of Wicksburg, oh man, it's just great. And it is a great school. I'm not dogging, but yeah, it's just,
Cottonwood, too, I
facilities.
worked out there for a while and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, they need to upgrade.
They-
I
they
think
do.
I know it's had an upgrade since my dad was.
My kids go there and they talk about how the building is falling apart.
Yeah.
Wicksburg. Yeah, it's rough.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Anyway.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Brandon.
Thank you.
All right. Very good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all ready to get started? Since we had two speakers, we're not going to go over tactic 5 and 6. We're just going to do 5 today. So that way I don't keep y'all in here forever. But let's start out with some gratitude. What are you thankful for?
Thankful for Jessica. Today marks her 1-year anniversary with Keller Williams. So today marks 1 year. She's been kicking butt, taking names, and I know that sometimes she may not realize, and sometimes everybody don't get a chance to tell you what a good job you do. I just want to tell you that you do a good job, and we're so happy and proud of you. You know, coming in and again, pretty much like what Brandon was saying, just coming into a situation and actually going through the growing pain in the curve, you know, the adversity, whatever. But I think we have the right agents. Agents are coming in every single day here to Keller Williams. And I don't know if people know, but they don't come just by chance. They come because you're hitting the pavement and getting to see what a great company Keller Williams is. And so I'm just very grateful for you and happy for you, and congratulations on what you do.
We're blessed
You're
to
so
have
sweet.
you.
You are one-time vote.
Thank you. I missed that.
Where's everybody? You see, normally there's a bigger crowd here.
We started doing Zoom, so we don't
Oh.
have as many
Gotcha.
people come in person.
Gotcha.
Who else? What are you thankful for? Who else is on here?
Grateful for everybody who participated in Red Day and really
Yes.
made a difference. I had somebody that's not affiliated with us at all said, you know, he was really impressed when he drove by there.
It looked really like Katie. I mean, not that everything else wasn't fabulous.
So I want
Um,
to give this woman the Hulse Award.
Yes.
This woman is like amazing. I get the Wimp Award, she gets the Hulse Award. And so she was.
Katie's Community Garden, Aunt Katie, excuse me, and
Yeah.
then Girls Inc., which was Shane Carpenter, Kayla, and Miranda. So thank y'all. What's the matter?
Big help
Oh.
for Girls Inc.
And then we've got to take the suitcases,
Mhm.
right? Is that today?
I've still got one I gotta run and go get, but.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it today, like, I'll bring it by lunchtime.
Y'all should ride by and look at the garden. It's really,
It's
really,
cool. If you haven't
It
seen
is.
it on Linden
It's
Street, it
pretty
is.
awesome.
it's a good thing he's got going there.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. Michael Jackson is his name.
And we wanna keep
He's
supporting them.
Yeah, Wendy mentioned us going back out like on a Saturday and doing some more work. So that way, since it's on the weekend, I mean, even though
And they're
we're
gonna
realtors,
have a plant sale soon. I'll bring the flyers.
21st, this weekend.
Yeah, 21st, they're gonna have a plant sale.
It's gonna be open to 8 to 4. They're gonna have a band. They're gonna have, you can buy vegetables or plants.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. A great way to support the community and exactly what Brandon was talking about. Bringing the community up to where we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way for us to get involved and do that.
I agree. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Jimmy Hollis, and some of you people know me. And I am thankful to be able to come back to a company as wonderful as Williams, Keller Williams, and restart my real estate career.
And how long were you in real estate prior?
20 years here in Dothan, and I received my license in 1976, which was before most of you guys were born. But I'm coming in the middle of some things. I mean, the suitcases, I've got tons of them. I don't know. You just tell me where to bring them, I'll bring them.
Okay.
Wendy?
Just bring them here to the market center.
Here, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna take them over to Foster and Hope, and
Are you planning on taking them today or
I can
tomorrow?
take it today or tomorrow.
Okay.
They don't have a set time. It's just, they were having meetings the other day, so they were closed down that
Okay.
day.
And real quick, I just want to
Yeah.
tell you about Jimmy is that she is, if you ever need help in real estate, she would be a guru. She's got so much experience, and she's a lot like Marty Tadlock that works here. They're walking encyclopedias. So, and in real estate, you always come across, every situation's different, every transaction's different. But I mean, she's got experience. So I'm just excited about having her here.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here. I will admit, although I always felt I was a very, very intelligent person, this real estate course has brought me to my knees. And I'm at 30%, but I could not work on it consistently. The worst mistake I ever made in my I'm 75 years old. So in my 75 years old, the worst mistake I made was in 2015 when I either forgot to renew my license or I blocked it out of my mind or whatever. Actually, I've made a lot of mistakes, but that's in the top 5. So I am getting such a refresher course. I mean, it is thrilling to go through there and see all the things that I know about, but I will never in real life use those.
Yeah. It's part of it.
But yeah, I've gone through a lot of emotions, screaming, crying. What do you mean I have to do blocks and zigzags and.
No, I don't.
Oh, my gosh. But it's fun, and I hope I can come on board very soon.
We're glad you're here.
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
She's taking case scores, so she'll be done before we know it, and she'll be coming on board with us. What, oh yeah, so Brandon Shute, whenever he gave us his number, I punched it in my phone and then I called him on accident and hung up. He just called back and he does not have my number. So that right there shows that he will answer the phone or call you back. Okay, anybody else? Who else is on here? Jackie Benz? Kelly Sullivan? Anything y'all are grateful for? They must be in the restroom.
No, I'm here. I'm just thankful to be back in Alabama. I've been gone for 2 weeks and got back last night.
We're glad you're back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. All right, is anybody in the office or in this room done something for you that you're just like, wow, you know, thank you so much for doing that. This is what it's all about. This is why we're a part of Keller Williams, because we help each other out. Bucket fills, anything that you can think of. Wendy, you're saying yes. No.
I don't know. I was very happy with just seeing everybody, and that you took time out of your day when you're supposed to be in a class.
I know, my continuing education.
And miss out on your continuing education because it was, you thought that was more important.
It was. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate that.
It was fun, somewhat. I'm not used to doing the yard work. I had to do that when I was a kid, and then I got married, and my husband does all that. Thank God. And I, little flashback from childhood.
Yeah.
I don't get Bill for Crystal.
Yes.
I know she's our PC coach, but like I know she has blocked out time that she does her calls and she likes to focus on her own business. But anytime I call her, whether it's during that call time with these silly, crazy questions, she picks up right away, has all the answers for me, helps me walk through it all. And it's really been encouraging for me, being new, not knowing where to go, what to say, what to do, that I could pick up the phone and be like, Crystal, what do I do? What do I say? How do I do this? So it's been awesome.
I agree with that.
Ma'am,
I agree with that.
you agree with that?
Oh, thank you.
All right, anybody else? What time is it? Woo, 9:51. Okay.
Crystal went to a closing for me. I really appreciate that. Oh, just okay.
Oh, Lord. All right, so if you want to scan this to get more information, they sent this out. This is all the information they gave me, so I don't have anything else. But apparently through July 1st, they're doing reduced interest rates. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that for your clients, scan this code to get more information. Y'all want to do that now? Says available on most products except jumbo loans, fast processing, or world-class experience. But yeah, reduce interest rates until July 1st.
Okay.
Can y'all get it?
I don't know. Keller had mortgage.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. They didn't call you? Reach out to you? No.
All right, everybody got it?
Mm-hmm.
Kaylin, did you get it?
I got it. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so Aubrey will be here this Thursday. He's going to do an agent mastermind. So we're just going to talk about, well, Aubrey, what challenges you're having in this market and what to expect with the shift coming, because like I said, we don't know when it's coming, but it's coming and you need to be prepared, because this is going to show, I don't mean this to sound ugly, but this is going to show if you are a legit realtor. This is going to show what you're made of. You are absolutely right, because this is how you stay a realtor, is when you can make it through a shift. You need to read shift. That's why we've been going over the past few meetings. You just need to be prepared and know what to do to keep your head above water. Okay.
Gonna work a lot harder.
Also, he said that anybody that attends, he will pay for your lunch. Afterwards, well, I won't be able to go, but we'll all go eat lunch, and Aubrey will pay for anybody that attends the mastermind on Thursday, 11 o'clock up here. Okay.
All right. They're gonna get sick of seeing my face.
No, no.
Caleb here, free food.
Mega Agent Camp. Has anybody thought about going to that? It's in Austin, Texas in August.
I will be in the building.
I'm going, you're going,
Trans going.
Trina Shelton is going. Jess, are you going?
I'm
Okay,
curious-
Jess.
I'm curious if they're doing the Zoom again, like we did last year, or the virtual mega camp.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
If you can just Google Mega Camp, Keller Williams. Right now, I think early bird pricing, I think it's still at $5.99 for in person. $5.99 in person.
Well, yeah, that's the house.
It's worth
I
it.
tell you what, if you sell a house before then I'll pay half your ticket. Let's go.
Did everybody hear that?
I recorded here.
Now it's up to you.
I'm not trying.
Now it's up to you.
Oh, I know, you must get back.
But yeah, Jess, I think normally they're like 129 to 190. It's less than 200 for the virtual. But in person, I think right now they're $5.99 and then they'll go up to $6.49. No, you don't want to be there. You need to be there. You need to be there. Anyway, so August 23rd through the 24th, I just booked my plane tickets a week ago. I think I've got to book my hotel. Once, if you do decide to go, once you sign up for it, it will give you a block. They have about 7 or 8 hotels blocked off, and we get a discounted rate because we're Keller Williams. If you, yeah, that's up to you. Yeah, squeeze 5 of y'all in there if you want to. I don't care. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you attended family reunion, Mega Camp is kind of similar to that. It's going to family reunion for the first time this year, and then Mega Leadership in April was like nothing I've ever experienced. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. John, did you enjoy yourself?
It was fantastic.
It was good. Who else? You went to family reunion? You went to family reunion?
What is family reunion usually?
That's in February, every year in February, and it's like 5 days. And Mega Camp is usually in August, and it's like for 5 or 6 days. And for whatever reason, they separated it this year. So that's why me and John were going in April, because they had Mega Leadership, and then this is Mega Agent Camp. So this is just agents. There'll be some leadership there. I'm going. But yeah, it's great. Anyway, so if you got any questions or want to go, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, y'all ready? Tactic 5. It is, if you have the shift book, it is page 83 through 108, just for tactic 5. And since we had 2 speakers this morning, like I said, we're just going to do 5 instead of 5 and 6 today, so I can get y'all out of here. So we're going to go ahead and listen to this. I don't know why the intro takes forever.
All right, Steve, thank you. We just got done talking about finding the motivation in tactic number 4, lead generation. And tactic number 5 is get to the table and convert your leads. So what did you pick up from this chapter?
Well, it's so interesting because at the beginning of the last video, I said, you know, is it any surprise that the lead gen chapter would be the longest chapter? Because we talk so much about lead generation at Halloween. But the truth of the matter is, if all we're doing is lead generating and those are not leading to an appointment in somebody's home to bring them to an agreement to either buy or sell, our lead generation is wasted time. So really the most important step really is almost conversion.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that you can measure conversion, you guys, is if you are, if you're working really hard, doing a lot of lead generation, but you're not physically taking a buyer and showing them properties, or you're not physically going on a listing appointment, you need to work on your conversion. It's kind of like your sign. If you're working really, really hard, you need to work on your lead conversion and scripts and things like that. But that's kind of like your sign that you got some work to do in this department.
One of the interesting things I liked in this chapter on page 88, they talk about the National Association of Realtors numbers that say, you know, 70% of the time when somebody goes into an appointment, they're the only ones gonna be there. So often people, they're almost afraid to lead gen, they're almost afraid to go on an appointment because there's gonna be so much competition. And the truth of the matter is, most people only interview one person and half of the rest only interview two.
Exactly. And one point that they pointed out in this tactic is that shifts create urgency, and you need to also create urgency and work on scripts and urgency for you either to meet with buyers or to meet with sellers to take the listing. You have to create that urgency yourself and find ways to leverage it.
Yeah, and it really all begins with capturing, right? I mean, we're going to capture leads, we're going to connect with leads, and ultimately we're going to convert those leads, right? And capturing them, I mean, we can talk, and we will in the next video too, about the power of technology and all that kind of thing. But really, there's 4 pieces of data you want on everybody right out of the gate. You need to know their name, you need to know their phone number, you need to know their email address and their physical address.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And that capture between and connecting and closing to an appointment, that's this tactic is getting them. Once you've captured it, closing it is a very important skill. You have to really hone in and during your shift. I can't stress that enough. So
yeah, absolutely. So really, there's 6 connection questions. All right, and it just goes back to the things we learned as kids: who, what, when, where, why, how. Right? Who are the people? You know, what are they looking to do? Where are they looking? When are they looking to move or whatever? Right? And it's just that simple: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And if we can keep those in mind, if people don't give us that data, if they're not going to play along, they probably won't be a good client of ours.
yeah, and just like the last tactic, it helps you realize if somebody's not going to give you their email address, they're probably not that motivated to buy in the first place.
100%.
So it just means you need to talk to somebody else. Go talk to another person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So once you've connected with them, Steve, let's talk about closing a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of times when in real estate, people hear about closing and they're thinking closing the deal. You know, that's the day everybody gets the keys and moves. No, what we're talking about is closing on the appointment. It's the most important thing that we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my most favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I've trained my brain, and especially in a shifting market, you guys, you need to train your brains as well. Closing should be the most fun piece of it, because you physically should be asking for the order, whatever that is. If that's a direct close, if it's a soft close, it's like, hey, how are we doing here? How are you liking what we're talking about? To a direct close of, can I list your property?
Absolutely.
Like, you really need to tailor your style to how they're receiving it and what you think. But man, I like to ask for the order so much, and I hope that you do as well.
And then there are some people that they're not going to close on the appointment right now. We meet them, we capture their information, we make a connection, we try to close, and they're just not ready yet. And if somebody's not in the market to buy or sell right now, we're not going to talk them into it. Right. So in that case, we want to cultivate that for the future. We have the perfect system for that, correct? I mean, that's what Command is all about, is being able to put these people in and get into that follow-up process through till the time where they're ready to do something in the future, even if it's 5 years from now.
Absolutely. Get them in there, cultivate the relationship, build the relationship, hopefully do business with it, and then stay in contact with them after. That's the power of our technology right now.
Absolutely.
And we need to be leaning into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked a lot about becoming a lead generator. What we really want to do is become a lead converter, right? So what you want to do is really commit to your conversion skills, master the scripts, role play, and just master your closes. Sometimes people say, well, what close should I use? There's like 10 of them listed here in the book. Find 2 or 3 that work for you that you'll use all the time and go use them.
Practice it until it becomes so natural for
you. Go away. Sorry. Okay, what did y'all get from that? Any ahas?
That was a good refresher, good point. Lead generation, spend a lot of time on it, but it's the conversion that makes the money at the end.
Yeah, you can lead generate all day, but if you're not converting them, then you're not going to get anything out of it.
And a shifting market does that. It makes it hard. Makes it harder to convert. I've been experiencing that a lot of people are afraid to put their house on the market.
When there's a shift, the market is less active and motivated leads are less forthcoming. Very true. So you need to be prepared for that. The essential truth is that your success in a shifting market will hinge entirely on your ability to convert leads. The effort you give to converting leads must match the effort you give to generating them. So if you work, 3 hours in the morning generating leads, but then you don't work on converting them, then you wasted your time getting lead as it is. And all it is building relationships with those people. You have to ask questions. You have to listen to what it is that they want. And that's hard for a lot of us to do. It's hard for me. I interrupt people constantly, and I'm working on it. It's very hard. You have to listen to what people want, and you can make the sale. I put this up just to kind of give you an idea. So the lead conversion process, which is what they were just talking about, you want to capture, connect, and then close the appointment. So when you capture, you need to get enough information to be able to make contact with the prospective seller or buyer. What are some ways you could do this? You're fine. To get information to be able to make a contact with a prospective seller or buyer, how could you do that?
We gotta ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta actually listen, because, if there is gonna be an objection, if you're quiet and you're asking probing questions, you'll find out where that objection is. So if you can find out what the objection is, isolate the objection and then handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of do like what I would consider trust checkers, all right? So if some, like prime example, if someone's qualm about listing a house to you is, they don't want to pay commission, right? They need a net XYZ dollars. Well, if you don't ask the right questions, you won't find out that they're really looking for a net number. Well, now that you know what that net number is, then now you can handle the objection of basically paying yourself in order to get the listing. Or, they're not really ready. They don't know where they're gonna go next. So, or whatever it is that, it's making them reluctant, you have to ask the right questions and get down to the brass tacks of what's holding them back from.
Yeah, you have to know what the problem is before you can give them a solution.
Right.
So you got to listen and figure that out. That also kind of goes back into, connecting, engage in meaningful contact where you get information, gain understanding, and build a relationship. And you have to build that relationship with them, and they have to trust you before they can even tell you what it is that they want. Because if they don't trust you, they're just going to shut down, they're going to cut you off, and they're not going to really engage with you, and you're not going to know what they need or what they want because they don't trust you. So whenever you're building relationships with people, it has to be genuine, anyway, you kind of answered that whenever we talked about capturing. You went into connecting. Just make sure you listen. And there are a lot of different ways, like he said, to get the appointment. You're going to close it by phone or in person with an appointment. And there are 10 different closes that you can do. We don't have to go through every single one of them, but if you want a copy of them, come downstairs. I'll make you a copy out of this book if you don't have one. I highly suggest getting this book, but I'm sure y'all have heard of these before, the 10 classic closes that work. The hard close, the soft close, the direct close, the indirect close, the trial close, the assumptive close, the negative positive close, the take back close, the tie down close, the alternative choice close. I am more of a soft close personally. So a soft close is, I really enjoy visiting with you. Would you like to get together to discuss this further? That's what works for me. Crystal probably is not. The hard close is, let's meet. That's the hard close. And if that works for you, then that's what you need to do. You have to find out what's going to work for you. And you need to know what type of person your buyer or seller is. Because even though if you are the hard close type, if they're not, you need to reevaluate and you need to do a soft close because you don't want to push them away. It depends on the type of person they are. Anyway, there's examples of each one on this. If you want a copy of them, come downstairs. I'd be more than happy to make you a copy of it. Something else I highlighted with a straight path of capture, connect, close just isn't possible. Think cultivation. You have to stay in close contact until an appointment becomes an option. So with that being said, if people do not want to, they don't want you to list their house or they don't want to work with you or whatever, don't feel like it's done. Just stay in a relationship with them. That's all you have to do. Just keep a relationship with them. And then whenever they're ready, you think they're going to call you because you stayed in touch with them, or are they going to call somebody else that they just met, 2 days prior? Just keep, all it is building relationships with people and building that trust with them. Time block for lead generation. You have to do that. We're almost done. I know we all got to go. Next week, we'll go over tactic 6. Like I said, tactic 5 is pages 1. If you have this book, I believe it's 108. Excuse me, 83 to 108 is tactic 5. Does anybody not have this book?
I gave it to somebody.
You gave it to somebody. We don't have any of these right now. All we have is the MREA. If you are an Audible person, download it on Audible. You need to order one of these. If you would rather read, you need to be reading this book right now and getting ready. I know I said it at the last meeting. I think John did too. You need to be reading this book.
It's on YouTube.
It is. You
And
can
there's
listen to it.
also, there's also a website called Z Library,
Mhm.
and they have PDF versions of pretty much every book you could think of. So
Yeah.
zlibrary.org,
Mhm.
look up Shift, you can download it to your computer, and then YouTube also has it recorded.
Thank you.
As
Y'all get that?
As a student, I need to not pay $300 for a textbook.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
that's what we use at school.
Okay. I know we've all got to go. Anything else? I know we talked about Red Day, but do y'all have anything else? John, Miranda, y'all got anything? Y'all good? Just a little something for you. A call to a past client is not a sales call. It's a relationship call, and there's a world of difference. So true. Happy Tuesday. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming. And I'll see y'all Thursday, hopefully. The mastermind with Aubrey. Y'all don't be so excited. Don't be so excited. I am too. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Jackie. She is gone. Bye, Kelly.
I'm be right back. All right. We ain't used to living anyway. Bye.